Okay, so trigonometry requires you to be able to label sides of a right-angled triangle. The three sides of a right-angled triangle are the adjacent, the hypotenuse and the opposite. And we need to know how to label those on this right-angled triangle here. Now the adjacent side is always the side with the right angle and the angle as well on its side. So this is the adjacent side. The hypotenuse is the side that is slanted, and that's always opposite the right angle. So this is the hypotenuse. And then the opposite is the one that's opposite the angle. Or you can look at it as the one with only the right angle on its side. So this is the opposite side. And usually for shorthand we call them H, A and O. So make sure you know how to label those three sides. Now trigonometry has three ratios: sine, cos and tan. And the way you remember them is by using SOHCAHTOA. So let's have a look at what SOHCAHTOA is. SO is the relationship between the opposite and the hypotenuse side, and what it says is S stands for sine, and sine of an angle, which we'll just call x, is equal to the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. Similarly for ca, that relates to cos, and it says cos of an angle, which we'll just call x, is equal to the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. And similarly for toa, the t relates to tan, so tan of an angle, we'll just call it x, is equal to the O over A, the opposite over the hypotenuse. Look at an example for finding a side. We've got x, 4 and 60 on our triangle. So first thing we need to do is label our sides. So this is going to be A, as that's got all the angles on its side. This will be H, as it's the slanted side. And this will be O. So now we need to reject one of the sides that we don't want. And we don't want A because we're not told its length. So we'll get rid of that. We know the length of O is x, we want to find that out. And we know the length of H is 4. So we've got O and H, so we need the ratio that has O and H in it. So the ratio that we want is SO. So the S relates to sine, so sine of the angle, and our angle here is 60 degrees, is equal to O over H. So sine 60 is equal to O we can replace with x, and the 4, and the H we can replace with a 4, and then if we multiply both sides by 4, x is equal to 4 sine 60, so x is equal to 2 root 3 when you put that in your calculator. And that is the final answer. And don't forget your units. Trigonometry can also be used to find an angle, and we use the same process in order to do that. So first label your sides. This is A, O and H, and then get rid of a side that you don't want. So we're not told the length of H, so we need to get rid of that. So we're looking at O and A, and the ratio that has that in is TOA. So the T relates to tan. So tan of the angle, and this time we're working out the angle. So it's going to be tan of x is equal to O over A. So tan of x is equal to O is 9 and A is 10. And now what we need to do is get tan on its own. So we've done the tan of x. So to get rid of the tan, we need to inverse tan. So x will equal the inverse tan, written tan to the minus 1 of 9 over 10. And when you put that in your calculator, you get 41.987 ... that carries on. So to two significant figures, that's 42 degrees.